Welcome to your Season 17 Blaseball weather update. This is your new and improved Earlseason forecast. Warning: this video contains forbidden knowledge. Stop watching now if you do not wish to access hidden information. This video would not have been possible without the work of the Society for Internet Blaseball Research. At the dawn of Season 17, we see a far more even-looking spread of weathers. Flooding does remain most common, but it is down from last season. Salmon also remains high, but most interestingly, we see a dramatic increase in the amount of blood rain, with occurrences quadrupling since season 16. At home, Tokyo will host the highest number of reverb games. Seattle hosts a lot of feedback, and San Francisco the largest amount of black holes. The Midwest is having fun, as Charleston, the Hellmouth, and Breckenridge will see the highest amounts of blood rain, Sun 2, and flooding, respectively. Mexico will be home to the highest frequency of salmon, whilst Miami welcomes in a peanut front. Glitter has stuck around, but will only be seen 4 times in the Earlseason. Stay tuned for a team-by-team breakdown of the weather after this short financial segment. Solar eclipses have halved compared to season 16, so Sunday payments will be down. Flooding is also slightly down on last season, but remains the most common weather, so while payouts continue to decrease, there's still a safe purchase. Black holes have a slight increase, so your Wetzels can stay, and Sun 2 remains at a constant frequency, so no need to ditch donuts either. Back to the teams. At home, fans of the lift will be disappointed to see only 1 incidence of coffee, having brought sweetener for the stadium. Yet, with 4 reverb games, their psychoacoustics will have some time to shine. Over all of their games, they will have an equally high amount of reverb, flooding, and salmon. The Fridays will play under blood rain 6 times across their games, which is double the amount that any other weather will occur. They will not play under any coffee weathers in the Earlseason, but will see 1 glitter game. Another set of disappointed fans as the garages play no coffee games in their sweetener-filled stadium. They are one of only 2 teams to not play in Sun 2 weather at all, but will play in feedback 7 times, so should really get a new sound engineer. Sweetener does not appear to have been a good investment, as the Lovers are yet another team to see only 1 coffee weather at home. In fact, they won't play under coffee or coffee 3s at all in the Earlseason. They will see 6 black holes, which just beats out salmon to be their most common weather, and they will also be spreading the love by hosting a glitter game. Looking to their 2 Sun 2 dependent modifiers, the Tacos play 3 Sun 2 games. They are the only team not to play in blood rain at all, instead stocking up on flooding and salmon, playing nearly half their games in one of these 2 weathers. Playing just 9 games at home, the mechanics will not get to see the benefit of their sweetener or their echo chamber. They will not play in coffee weathers at all, hydrating instead with water from their 6 flooding games. Hopefully, they will instead see some benefit from the glitter game that they will play. Despite having 3 weather modifications on their stadium, the only one that may activate for the Magic is Heat Magnet, but let's hope that the 1 solar eclipse game does not end in incinerations. They won't play in any coffee weathers, which will come as a relief for the highly redacted team, but instead we'll see a lot of salmon. Yet another sweetener investor discouraged, with only 1 coffee weather at home. Despite hosting the highest number of blood rain games in the ILB, the most common weather for the shoe thieves to play in will be salmon. Finally, some fans who can be satisfied with their renovations, as the Hellmouth will have the opportunity to use its solar panels with 4 Sun 2 games, plus its echo chamber and psychoacoustics with a reverb game. They are one of few teams not to see a solar eclipse, but will have a high frequency of flooding weather to contend with. The Jazz Hands can use their psychoacoustics and LCD sound system while hosting their feedback and reverb games, yet will be another team to regret their sweetener purchase. They will also not see any solar eclipses, instead having a joint high likelihood of salmon and flooding in their games. Sweetener will let our champions down too, with only 1 coffee game at home. Salmon will be the most common weather for the stakes, with every other weather occurring half that amount of times. The Spies will be glad of their cleaning system whilst hosting 3 flood games. Whilst flooding is their highest occurring weather, there will be an equal high chance of Sun 2, feedback and peanuts for the team. There will be no coffee weathers for the Wild Wings at all during the Earlseason, which makes another sweetener wasted. They host the most salmon games of any team, but will still see more flooding weather across all their games. The Breath Mints will have the opportunity to use both their echo chamber and psychoacoustics whilst hosting a feedback and a reverb game. Although salmon is their most common weather, Sun 2, Black Hole and feedback all make a similarly high number of appearances. The Firefighters will see 1 coffee game in which to use their sweetener. One of only 3 teams not to play in reverb in the Earlseason, they will instead see an equally high chance of blood rain and black holes across their games. The Firefighters are also the only team to see more than 1 glitter game. The Worms will host 6 games of feedback and reverb, bringing their psychoacoustics out to play. Despite this, their highest chance weather is flooding. They will get just 2 opportunities to activate their jam-packed modification in black hole weather. The Moist Talkers will see an equal likelihood of blood rain, black holes and flooding across their games, which gives them lots of chances to use their high pressure modification. They will be the only team not to play in peanuts weather, but will get to see some glitter. The Flowers have an opportunity to use both of their weather-dependent stadium modifications, despite only playing 9 home games. They will have an equal chance of reverb and flooding across their games, but are one of only 3 teams to not play in birds weather. The Millennials are the only team to see more than 1 coffee weather at home, which is good news for their sweetener stocks. They will also have 2 chances to use psychoacoustics. Overall, flooding will be their most common weather, but the only conditions they won't see are reverb and coffee too. The Pies, however, will be disappointed with their sweetener purchase, seeing no coffee games at home or away. In good news for their crow friends, they will play 3 games in bird weather. Yet their most common weather is blood rain, in which they play a remarkable 9 games, making a third of all their matches in this weather. At home, the Crabs have 2 opportunities to use psychoacoustics. Across all their games, they only see 2 chances to flex their black hole modifications. Their most common weather is flooding, with feedback only just behind. The Georges host 3 games in feedback or reverb, giving them chances to use their psychoacoustics and their LCD sound system, but no coffee weathers for their sweetener. Peanuts will be the highest likelihood for this team. The Dallets see 2 chances to start their party with the LCD sound system and psychoacoustics, and will even see a coffee game to use their sweetener in. Despite hosting the most Sun 2 and Peanuts games in the Earlseason, the most frequent weather for a Dallet game will be flooding. The Tigers will have 2 solar eclipses in which to try and incinerate an umpire, and they will be thankful for their sealant modification in the 3 blood rain games they are set to play. They will see high amounts of both Sun 2 and flooding in the Earlseason. Thank you for joining me for the weather. I'll be back with your mid-season forecast tomorrow, but until then, rejoice, play ball.